Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers. In today's video, we're looking at another mod that's very useful for late game playthroughs. So this right next to me is called the Stone Disintegrator, which well does what it says on the tin. So what this thing does is basically it takes out any stone in the system and will simply destroy it, removing it from existence and giving you nothing back. So this is for when you say make a gigantic mining ship, plow through an asteroid, perhaps even destroying the entire asteroid, collecting up this small bit of resources that you're after, but now you've got a bunch of stone inside. You come and connect up to the base, load it into your containers, and now your refinery, sitting right over there, has now been clogged up with a bunch of stone, and it's going to take quite some time for it to burn through all of it before it gets to the stuff that you're after. Of course, you can manually change that by just dragging stuff in and out, maybe even setting up a sorting system, but you're still going to have to deal with all that stone eventually, and depending on how far you actually are, will depend on if that stone is actually useful, because it does get to a point where you have too much of the resources that it produces, and this is simply a one-stop fix to, well, solving that problem. So you just go and slap it onto your conveyor system. It does not matter where it is, so you can actually put it onto the container itself, or onto the mining ship that's collecting up all the resources, which we will do a bit later on. You go inside it, because it is a production block, you tell it how much stone you want it to destroy, and it'll just basically do it instantly. So for a quick demonstration, what I'm going to do is grab hold of my character, come all the way up to this container, and we're just going to have a little looky on the inside. Scrolling down a little bit, you can see in my refinery that I've got a little bit of resources from where I've been playing around with this mod. Yes, you will come into here and actually type in the Stone Disintegrator. This is what it looks like in this menu. So a simple recycle button, where this is where the stone is going to be sitting and where it's going to get destroyed. We come over to the productions, and this is what we simply select. So we've got a little drop down here, so we can select refinery, assembler, and the Stone Disintegrator. We've got three little options. We've got slow mode, we've got medium mode, and then we've got quick mode, which is while determining how much of the stone you're actually going to destroy. So on slow mode, it's going to destroy 0.3, and we see we can queue up all of that. There we go. We've got medium mode, which will destroy 333, queue up a bunch of that. Then we've got our quick mode, which will destroy 3,333.33, where we can also queue that up, and now we're ready to go. So now let's come into here, press this, and find my stone, which will be somewhere down into this section. There it is. Spawn a lot of it into the container. There we go. Come into this. And as you can see, the stone is very rapidly depleting, not because of the refinery, but we can see that it did pull out some of it, down to, well, wherever it's gone. There it is. You can see it's now gone and destroyed it all. It's got a few bits of excess in there where it can't actually destroy it up, so in order to actually destroy that, I need to go and queue up some more of the slow, more of the medium, then come back into here. You can now see it's destroyed as much as it can. And that's simply all it does, just unclogs your system without needing to use a sorter. So what we're going to do now before I do a proper demonstration using a mining ship, because you can use this instead of ejectors, which save you from having a bunch of stone scattered everywhere and while blocking up your view, and maybe making some scary sounds as you try and reverse your vehicle out of a hole. Let's go through the build cost, and of course the model look. So coming into the build menu, this is what it looks like. We've got a small and large version, where we see the cost right here. If I move the screen over to this lovely black platform, we'll be able to see it a lot more clearly. And here we go. So we've got our large and our small. In fact, we'll click on it like so. For the large one, it only uses computers, construction components, displays, motors, small steel tubes, metal grids, and interior plates, which is bloody easy to build, even at the start survival mode. But of course, you don't want to use this at the start survival mode, because stone is very precious. And of course, for the smaller version, there we go, that's absolutely dirt cheap. We lose a lot of the more complicated components, which are not that complicated. Yes, we simply use displays, motors, computers, construction components, and interior plates. So there we go. Now to fly all the way up to this, here we go, it's simply what it looks like. So we've got these lovely little, almost like fire extinguishers in the middle, surrounded by a bit of grey, just holding them in place. And at the top here, we've got some more grey, comes across onto some lovely metal tubes, that then do a crisscross pattern at the top. Round onto the side, it's going to be the same on all sides. Then for the base itself, there we go, just a lovely little square that doesn't really look too out of place from the rest of the blocks in this game. If we come across to the smaller version, here we go, bring all the way across, there we are. It's simply a teeny tiny version of what we just saw. So there we go, there's a connection point underneath, which is the same as that one up there. Go and delete that. Now fly across this mining vehicle, and I'm going to destroy all the ejectors at the back here, all these small connectors. I'm going to play around with an asteroid. There we go, just going to delete that, put them on the side. Grab that one, do the same, and now we're all ready to go. Of course, you don't need to have this many on your ship, you only really need to have one. But I suppose if you did have a gigantic ship that had, say, a bajillion drills, you'll probably need a lot more than one. Anyway, getting to the ship, it's called the Ares Miner. I did a showcase on it not too long ago. But now I need to come over to an asteroid. I'll just show you how this works on a small mining ship. And here we are at an asteroid. So before I actually start drilling this all up, what we're going to do is come over to the storage and have a little look through here. So we've got our cockpit, connector, and 2 medium cargo containers. So what I'm going to do now is just come all the way out to it, start collecting up all the stone. Then once I'm all full up, I'll go across over to the Stone Disintegrator, activate them, and then continue drilling to show you how this thing all works. So here we come, I've now turned it on, moving all the way forwards. In fact, using the top-mount camera, in fact, that's an absolute terrible view. That should do a little bit better. Here we go, all the way forwards, collecting up a nice lot of stone. And here we go from a third-person view. You can see, look at all the particle fetches flying out everywhere. I completely forgot I still had the mod on that allows for a extreme range on the drills. And it looks like I have sort of got this stuck. It doesn't really want to move anymore. I'm not too sure what is going on there, but I absolutely cannot move this forwards or backwards. It's just chock-a-block full and extremely heavy. So coming back into here and looking at all of this. So we've got 2.7k, 3k, 9k, and of course 7 down to there. So what we've got to do now is come across over to productions, find my Stone Disintegrator. In fact, we've got all of them right here. And I'm just going to queue up one of these. We'll start off with number 4. And I'm just going to do that. Just queue up a massive load of it. There we go. And now, as you can see, in fact, you won't be able to see, we're now completely empty once again, so I can keep on mining up all this stone and eventually get to the resources that stay inside this asteroid. I don't need to worry about manually ejecting stuff out, say like dragging across my inventory, dragging that onto the ground, and doing all that. Or even just having ejectors set up and having the stone just flow everywhere, because it does get quite annoying, especially if you are mining for a long time, and especially if you are mining a massive tunnel through an asteroid. When you start to reverse everything up, it can be quite awkward seeing what's going on. But as for that, that's pretty much it for the Stone Disintegrator has to offer. It's just a unique little mod that you could get a lot of use out of, depending on how far you are in survival mode. It's very useful for a base just to remove out any kind of excess stone that you don't need, saves you having to set up a massive sorting system, and of course makes it very easy for mining ships like I showcased just a second ago, to be able to keep drilling through an asteroid without running out of any kind of space, and without needing to use any kind of ejectors, which can create a lot of clutter on your screen, and make it very hard to see what's going on. So be linked to the description below if you should download and play around it yourself. I highly recommend you do. I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.